Welcome back, students. Welcome to the course Natural Language Processing. My name is Priyanka Gupta. I am working as assistant professor in Department of Computer Science and Engineering, Data Science Department at Institute of Aeronautical Engineering, Hyderabad. So, our today's topic is language, thoughts, and understanding. So, as we know about the natural language has been used in natural language processing. So, we need to understand what is actually language is, how it has been actually started, how the thoughts has come to just interpret those natural languages, right? So first I'll talk about what is going to be predicted by researchers actually in the old era. So when it is started actually the natural language extraction, so the Turing machine was evolved. So we have seen in the history of this natural language processing. So we have started with the Turing machine test. So that was a game, and they actually after that the researchers has been actually predicted. They have actually judged what it will be in the next century. So next century was the 20th century. So they predicted that roughly it would be end of the 20th century with the 10 GB memory that would around a 30% chance of fooling a human interrogator after 5 minutes of questioning. So actually in that game, in the Turing machine game, there were interrogator and two players, and the one player was the machine. The computer system was just writing the different questions, asking the different questions from the interrogator, and the interrogator was giving the answers. So likewise that the play was there, and they were not they don't know about that is a machine actually. So actually that was they were predicted that in the 20th century it will be 10 GB of data. So although the critical issue for this Turing game was that the using language as human do is sufficient. So they have used sufficient words and sufficient grammar to do these things by the machine. So that will be the operational test for the intelligence. So that would not give the appropriate result if that I would say about they predicted about that the persons are going to use the more words, more refined words and refined things, and then it is coming to the intelligence. So that was actually has been predicted that after that actually Elijah came into the picture. Elijah was actually we can say teleprompter, and that was actually worked as a receptionist, and they are the different users were coming and they were writing, they're asking their queries, and that was giving the answers according to that. So Elijah's deep relevance to the Turing ideas was just exact, and it's that many who interacted with Elijah, they came to believe that it really understood them. So that was the actually interpretation of this machine, that actually the Elijah machine that is giving the exact information that they want from that particular written sentences. So that that was actually they have understood that that is properly working as a machine and giving the interpretations like human. So that was they resolved their problems with Elijah. Indeed, after that, in 1976, the Virgin Gam that notes that many of these people continue to believe that Elijah is actually having all the ability, that even after the program operation was explained to them. So that was actually they believed in 70s that the Elijah machine is doing very well according to their ability. So it was actually intelligence came into the picture. Then again it is now clear that regardless of what people believe and how they know about the inner working of computers, although they talk about them, they interact with them as social entities. So that was the actually era. Then the people were just believed that machine is also interacting with them in their language, that was the natural language. And language actually they were actually in those systems, those applications they were writing, they were just chatting with each other. So people act towards computers as they were people. So actually they were they thought, the people thought the machine are just interacting with them, and the machine is actually polite to them. They just not arguing with them, and they are just interpreting what they want from them, and also treating them as a team members. So if they are working as a application, if they are giving some instructions to others also, they were working in the team and they were giving the right interpretation of the results. So they are also expecting among each other that other things, that computers would be able to understand their problems and need also. So these were the some interpretations by the people for the by the these Elijah and other systems. So those came into the picture in 1970s actually. They were capable to interacting with them naturally. So naturally means how the human interact in different languages, different thoughts. So they were actually writing on the different machines, and the machines were giving the exact we can say interpretation of those thoughts, and we can say their interpretations as a result. So the persons, they believe that they are working intelligently. Given these we can say predispositions, then speech and language based systems came. Then they can provide many users with the most natural interface to the many applications. So if the some of the researchers came, and they actually interpreted that if we will use the speech along with the language, so that is going to be predict also and interpret also accordingly intelligently by the machines. So that was also the interpretation of those particular persons. So this fact has led as a long-term focus in the field of natural language processing on the design of conversational agents, artificial entities that communicate conversationally. So that was actually era. Then they thought of using the speech also along with the language, writing language. So they focused on that. That would be very useful, that conversational agents will be there, and then somebody will come as a user, and they are writing and just actually also the speaking, and the machine is going to interpret those into their respective outputs. So that was the ideas on that era, right? So now if I'll say what is the state of art, so with the progress, the starting of the increasing the computing resources available on the average computer user, that time the rise of the web data was available as a massive source of information, and also the increasing of the availability of wireless mobile access was there in that era. So that was the state of art at that time, that is having all placed speech and language processing applications in the technologically spotlight. So in that era, that was very popular at that time, when they were using the speech and language processing, along with they were increasing web resources were there, increasing data was there, increasing wireless mobile access were there. So that was actually intelligently has been just combined at a one place, and that was giving the interpretations. Now we can say currently deployed systems. What are the currently deployed systems are there according to different researchers? So a traveler calling Amtrak, he has United Airlines and other travel providers interact with conversational agents. They are going to guide them, and through their process of making reservations and getting arrival and departure information. So that is a one type of we can say conversational network agent is there. His name is Amtrak, and that is actually related to the United States Airlines, and that is going to give the reservation and accordingly arrival and departure information. The second is BlinkX, that is actually having the other video searching companies, that is a video searching company that is going to provide the search services, that for million of hours of videos on the web will be available by using speech recognition technology to capturing the words in the soundtrack. So that is a currently deployed system is there. Next is luxury car market such as Mercedes-Benz, that this models has been actually provide automatic speech recognition and text to speech systems that is going to allow drivers to control their environment in entertainment and also the navigational systems by voice. So according to the voice, these all settings will be just applied. A similar spoken dialogue system that has been deployed by astronaut on the space international space station. So that is again one type of deployed system in the field of natural language processing. Uh, Again, I can say that Google provides cross-language information retrieval and translation services. That is a one platform that Google is using, where a user can supply queries in their native languages, and that is going to be just search collections in other language. So the translation will be evolved here, that is going to interpret with the translation of the one language to another language, and that is going to queries accordingly. Then next can be the Google translation, that Google translator actually translate the query and finding the most relevant page and then automatically translating them back to the user's native language. So that is again one type of deployed system. Large educational publishers such as Pearson, as well as testing services like ETS, that they are also using automated systems to analyze thousands of students' essays, gradings, and assessing them in a manner that is indistinguished from the human grader. So that is actually has been used on the web. Their courses are there, and that there actually this techniques has been used, and that is going to give the student essays and grading and assessment at one place. So that is actually doing by the machine, but it is just exact to the human graders. Interactive tutors, that is actually based on the lifelike animated characters that serve as a tutor for children. So actually that is going that has been widely used as a learning to read and as therapists for people for therapies dealing with the aphasia and Parkinson's disease. So this is also they are dealing with these currently deployed systems. Next, I can say the one deployed system is text analysis companies like Nielsen, Buzzmetrics, Ambria, and Collective Intellect, that is actually providing the marketing intelligence based on the automated measurements of user opinions. According to user opinions, their preferences, their attitude, as expressed in web blogs, by writing some discussions on them on the discussion forums and further on the user groups. So these text analysis companies actually just interpreting those automated this sentences at one place. By that they are just having the user opinion, preferences, and attitude, and then they are just interpreting those into the human language. So these were all about the today's employed applications and how it has started and evolved. So we have seen this all at one place. Thank you for watching.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.